guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. Y'all, it is time for another How Do I segment. Stay tuned. So one of the questions that I receive a lot is, how do you cut your paper? How do you cut your chipboard? And I use several methods for cutting paper and chipboard. It really depends on how many of that item do I need. If I need just a single piece, I am going to use my desktop trimmer, which is also a part of my scoreboard, so I'll use that to cut that one piece. If when I'm in my backyard studio and I need a couple of pieces and I want to do it really quick, then I'll use my old school guillotine cutter that I have shown you guys in a previous video, and that video is linked in the description box below. But when I'm doing pre-cut kits or I need very large quantities, then I go to my industrial strength cutter because it will slice through many pieces of my chipboard and many pieces of the paper all at once. I recently mentioned that industrial cutter in a video and I got quite a few questions about it. So that's what this video is all about. How do I use that industrial cutter to cut multiples? And you're going to see just how easy it is. So a little heads up, I did film the use of that cutter with my iPhone and my iPad instead of my regular camera because I didn't want to move the cameras that I have positioned for normal recording and have to go back through and try to figure out my angles. So I used my iPad and I used my iPhone for that. Hopefully you'll be able to get a good understanding of what it is I am actually using. So we're going to head on over to my cutting station and I'll show you exactly how that cutter works. So here we have the knob where we adjust our sizes, and basically all you do is unscrew it and just slide it over to whatever size you need it to be and screw it in place to lock it, and then you're ready to start cutting. And you can see on the grid that I have here that my measurements aren't in inches. So when you go up to the top, you'll see your inch measurements, but when you're coming down, you can see that it's not measuring in inches. All right, so this is actually the cutting side of our industrial size cutter. Now, what we have here is a handle, and that handle is locked into place until you actually press this down and pull the handle forward, and you can see that it's coming down to hit that red bar, and what it's doing is you have a groove right here, and that's where the cut line is. And so then we have our turner, and this is basically going to clamp down to hold your paper in place, and I always turn mine extremely tight so that I know I'm going to get a nice clean cut because my papers are not going to move. So I'm going to loosen this and raise it so that you can see just how high this will go. And you can put all types of goodies in here to cut. Now your blade is underneath and it's extremely sharp, so you have to be very careful that you're not cutting yourself when you're going in to pull your papers out. So I always lift mine to the top and then I just push my papers out from the other side. Now one of the things I will share with you about this machine is it doesn't always cut straight because sometimes your paper will move. So what I've done is I've cut out a series of templates, and this is my 4 3/8 inch template. And basically what I do is I take it, I place it on the line, and I make sure that it's nice and even on that line from top to bottom. And then I slide over that bar that I showed you at the back with the knob. So then I slide it into place and I lock it. Now this is going to help guarantee that my cuts are going to be nice and straight. So I have templates cut for all the sizes that I want to use, and I cut my templates using my old-fashioned guillotine cutter. So I know that my templates are straight. So one thing that I always do is, this is 4 3/8, but I always make sure that it's 12 inches because I want to make sure that it's nice and straight all the way down. Now I can take my stack of papers and you can see how thick these are. Can you cut these in a regular trimmer all at once? No, you can't. But with our awesome cutter, I most certainly can. So I am going to line all of these up. And when I line them up, I'm just making sure that I have everything nice and even. And I'm just going to tap along the edges to make sure everything is pressed against that black bar. And then I'll take my clamp handle and I'm just going to clamp down. And I'm going to clamp real tight. Try not to make my camera wiggle, so I apologize if it does. But I'm getting this nice and tight. Guys, I'm sitting. I'm not even standing. So I'm going to take my handle and I'll bring my handle down. And then I can unwind. And I'm just going to keep unwinding so that I don't get my fingers caught. And look at that. I have cut through all of those pages. And now I have these 4 3/8 inch wide pieces. I can now take them, put them back in my cutter in the opposite direction. And I'm going to wind down again with my clamp. And you can see that blade going down, or the blade guide going down. And I'm just, now I can take my handle, pull down, and now I have another stack. I'm just going to loosen this, and we're going to get our second 4 3/8 by 4 3/8 inch cut. Look how many papers I cut at once. This isn't just good for cutting through papers. We can also cut through our chipboard. Make sure I have it nice and straight. Do that same wind down. Get it nice and tight. And then I'll take my handle and I just cut through those 4 pieces of chipboard with ease. And I have these 4 3/8 by 4 3/8 inch pieces of chipboard. Take these, put them back in my cutter, wind this down, pull down my handle, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to shake the camera. And did you guys see that? Went through that like butter. So now if I wanted to take some of my pink papers and my chipboard and make a tearaway notepad, look at that. I have exactly what I need in multiples to be able to do it. So I'll share a quick secret with you guys, especially those who do craft fairs or you're selling on Etsy, wherever it might be. I know that I have standard sizes of projects that I'm going to make, so I'll make my notepads are 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. I'll go ahead and take a whole pack of chipboard and go ahead and cut that out so that I have all of those ready to go when I need them. And because I'm using this beauty, it makes it so easy. If I have a stack of paper that I want to cut down, I go ahead and pre-cut it. When I am ready to start making multiples of anything, I already have it pre-cut. So this is an up close and personal look at my industrial cutter. This is how I'm able to cut large quantities of paper at once. I believe that this machine says it'll cut through 500 pieces of copier paper or printer paper at one time. Now I haven't tried that, so I can't say if it will or it won't, but I can say this. I have cut through 100 sheets of cardstock all in one pass, and it went through it without any problem. And guys, really, all I can say is wow, because that cutter has made my life so much easier. I've been using it now for about 1.5 years, and it has not disappointed me. So that is the industrial cutter that I use. Now, for those of you who might be interested in getting an industrial cutter, I'll have the link to the one that I'm using linked below. However, before making a purchase, I strongly encourage you to do your homework. There are numerous YouTube videos out there with various cutters that people are reviewing. So go check some of those out. So then make sure you read reviews and comments so that you'll know what others are saying about these particular machines, because they're all very similar, but we're all going to have a different experience with anything that we purchase. So please, please, although I'm showing this to you, although I am saying that this is a great machine for me, so please make sure that you do your homework so that you will know that machines like this are definitely for you. In the end, you might choose to purchase one that is completely different from the one that I have because you did your homework and you found something that fits your needs more so than the one that I showed. And that is more than okay, because you really should be educated about any purchase that you're making before you make it. And I know that machines like this are not going to be for everyone. If you're just the occasional crafter, this machine certainly isn't one that you would ever probably be interested in. But there are quite a few of you who are now starting to sell things that you make. And for me, it's a great investment because it saves time. And for those of you who might be starting to sell what you make, you might be doing craft fairs, or you have an Etsy store, or you have an online store. This might be one of those things that somewhere down the road, you might consider a pretty good investment. It doesn't have to be the exact model, the exact machine that I have, but you might find one that you consider to be a worthy investment because it will save you so much time. So guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this fun and quick look at how I cut large quantities of chipboard and paper all at once. And if you have, please hit the like button. And if you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.